Welcome to all the BSc first year students for second semester. Uh, in last previous classes, whatever the things we have studied, that is, we have completed Markensia, the complete life cycle of Markensia. Already I have mentioned in this paper, there is Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. As per concern with Bryophyta, they have mentioned only two examples of their life cycle. That is Markensia and Funaria. So gender characteristics, classification, alternation and generations, all these things we have seen. So I have mentioned what are the books, reference books. You have to go through to the reference books. There are much more material is there on the YouTubes, Google. You have to search the material. Just here we are giving the certain important points, what you have to be study, which things you have to be understand with reference to examination, as a part of examination. So already we have completed the life cycle of Markensia. Today we are going to be dealing about Funaria, which belongs to the class Bryopsida. Almost all or most of the higher bryophytes, they are commonly known as mosses, included in a separate group or class. That class is known as Bryopsida or mosses. MOSSES, mosses. Many species are there. Many examples comes under Bryopsida, but as per our syllabus, they have mentioned only one example as a type study. For example, a type study, you have to be study the complete life cycle of that example, the Funaria. So, as already we have studied the different things in case of Markensia. While studying the life cycle, you have to be discussed on its classification, occurrence, thallus structure or plant body. Again, in plant body, external characteristics and internal characteristics, reproduction, whether it is multiplies by vegetative, asexual and sexual method. Details have to be described, all these things. Then after that, discussing all these things, you have to be focus on, you have to be criticize, you have to be focused on alternation and generation in that particular example. With this completion, then they will complete the life cycle of that particular example. So while studying the Funaria, first of all, you have to be discussed on classification. So it comes under division Bryophyta, class Bryopsida, order Funarians, family Funariaceae and genus Funaria. It is one of the most advanced, well-developed genus of the class Bryopsida. Near about 162 species have been recognized in the throughout world. It is a cosmopolitan in their distribution. It is a cosmopolitan in their distribution, means it occurs throughout in the world. That is the meaning of it occurs throughout in the world, everywhere in the world. It occurs everywhere in the world. Generally, the species of Bryopsida, species of Funaria, the Funaria prefers to grow on a moist area. For example, where there is a old wall is there, old building is there, where there is a continuous water is running, moist locality is there. In that area, on the walls, we will find green patches. That green patches are nothing but Funaria. Generally, it prefers to a burn forest area where there is a number of nitrogen, where there is a large amount of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. It grows in that locality very luxuriously, and there are certain species of funaria are there. They can be grow on the trunks of the trees, and most of the part of Himalayan area, in Maharashtra, Mahaveshwar and Ratnagiri, will find some of the species of funaria. So this is regarding the locality and occurrence of funaria. It is one of the most important advanced gametophytic plants. While describing the occurrence, it is one of the most important advanced gametophytic plants whose plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf-like structure, but they are not having a true roots, true stem and true leaf. That is a very important one. So with this explaining the occurrence of funaria, you have to go through to the external characteristics or external thallus structure of funaria. Plant body or thallus structure of funaria. Plant body or thallus structure of funaria. Here, while describing the thallus structure or plant body of funaria, first of all you have to describe external characteristics of funaria. External, that is, what type of roots are there, what type of stem is there, what type of leaves is there, what type of fertile and non-fertile branches are there. Then while explaining all these things, then what is the function of roots, what is the function of stem, what is the function of leaves, whether they are sessile or with petiole, whether the lamina is with midrib or not, what type of leaves are there, what type of arrangement of these leaves is there on the stem, whether it is spiral or alternating. So these things have to be mentioned while explaining the external characteristics of that particular example. After that, while explaining the external characteristics, then you have to go through to the internal characteristics or TS of root, TS of stem and TS of leaf. So at that time you have to draw the figure, label it properly and describe stepwise epidermis, cortex and medulla. In both, that is rhizoids, stem and leaves. Rhizoids, here instead of saying the roots, they are not a true roots, therefore they are called as rhizoids. Then it is also not having a true stem. So while taking the transverse section of roots, rhizoids or stem and leaf, we find outermost coating epidermis, then cortex, then centrally located double layered wall cells, that is known as medulla. So these things are very important while explaining the internal characteristics of root, stem and leaves. So after that we are going to discuss regarding reproduction, whether it is multiplies by vegetative or sexual methods. While explaining the external characteristics, you have to go through to the internal characteristics of funaria, that is, you have to take the transverse section of rhizoids, stems and leaves. So internally the tissue structure is very simple. In case of rhizoids, it is very simple. In stem, we have seen that is the external characteristics. While studying the internal characteristics, you have to describe internal tissue structure of, that is, rhizoids, stem and leaves. So while studying the internal structure of funaria, that is rhizoids, stem and leaves, they are very simple. For example, when studying the TS of stem, there are three important layers, that is epidermis, cortex and medulla. So what type of tissues are there, you have to explain all these things. So after that, when explaining these three things, that is TS of rhizoids, TS of stems and TS of leaf, now you have to go through to the reproduction or multiplication in case of funaria. So it multiplies by vegetative methods and sexual methods. Vegetative reproductive bodies are very simple one. So whatever already we have studied in Mertensia, the same things are there, but it is not very important one. But the important thing is sexual method of reproduction in case of Funaria. So while whether it is a dioecious or monoecious, what is meant by monoecious, what is meant by dioecious. So which is what are the fertile branches? On each fertile branches there is a group or in a cluster, in the form of cluster there is a presence of male reproductive body and female reproductive body. So these male and female reproductive bodies, there is antheridium and oogoniums, are covered with a special type of structures that is known as paraphysis. All these things. So while taking the longitudinal section of male fertile branch and female fertile branch, will be observed, will be see the structure of antheridium and the coverage of different types of layers to the antheridium and archegonium. Then structure of antheridium, structure of oogonium, then process of fertilization, how fertilization takes place. After fertilization, the fertilized egg or zygote turns into a fruiting body, that is sporophyte. So what is the structure of sporophyte? What is the structure of sporophyte? Then what are the different, while taking the longitudinal or transverse section of the sporophyte of Funaria, it is very important one, the sporophyte of Funaria, they have to be explained different layers of sporophyte, that is outermost coating, inner medulla, sacs and spore cavities, the formation of spores, then operculum, annulum. So these are the air chambers. So these are the different parts of the sporophyte. So here, while explaining the sporophyte of Funaria, it is the sporophyte of Funaria is dependent on gametophytic. Explain the internal structure of sporophyte of Funaria. So the different parts have to be explained. Then structure of spores, then their release and their germination. Again, there is a formation of haploid gametophytic plant of Funaria with the help of spores which are released from the sporophyte of Funaria. So while explaining all these things, you have to be given an alternation of generation of Funaria. In life cycle of Funaria, the gametophytic phase is longer than the sporophytic phase, and the sporophytic phase is dependent on gametophytic phase. So in the next class, tomorrow we are going to be dealing about, that is details regarding the life cycle of Funaria, that is occurrence, external characteristics, internal characteristics, reproduction, structure of antheridium, structure of archegonium, fertilization, zygote, from the zygote, the structure of sporophyte, internally what are the different parts of the sporophyte of Funaria, then structure of spores, then the release, and again there is a formation of new gametophytic plants of Funaria. So this is now the completion of life cycle of Funaria. In examination, the objective type question will be asked. That is again that is the alternation of generation, dependent sporophytic dependent plants, independent plants, then operculum, annulum. So these are the things which are important one in case of Funaria. So you have to be study in details regarding the Funaria. You have to refer the reference books and figure external plant body, that is rhizoids, stem, leaves, and fertile and non-fertile branch, then internal structures. Write down the notes by referring the reference books, then only you will get the details regarding the Funaria. So with this today I am going to be stop here. Only tomorrow I am going to be given again detailed with figure, with label, details regarding external characteristics, internal characteristics and reproduction in case of Funaria. Okay, thank you one and all.